Hi there, I'm Professor Daer, Alice Daer, and I'm teaching a spring course at ASU called English 494, and the special topic is writing in digital communities. And I'm doing this video introduction to just let you know that there's a few things you should know about the course if you're trying to decide whether to sign up. The first thing is that it's not a typical iCourse. I kind of really just don't love Blackboard that much. So, and I really don't think that just because it's an online course, it needs to be asynchronous. In other words, I don't think it needs to be one of those discussion board, take an online quiz, watch a video, that kind of class. So the way I've taught this class before has always been face-to-face, so this is the first time I'm teaching it online, but it's not the first time I've taught the course, and it's not the first online course that I've taught. So I'm encouraging folks to enroll if you're interested in kind of just geeking out about the internet, learning how to analyze online communities, learning what makes up online communities, how they work together to achieve certain goals, how networks evolve over time, how people organize themselves around particular affinities or love of something. And the typical students who like to take this course are not always proficient in anything computer specific. You just have to have had a little bit of experience with, I don't know, basic social media stuff that you've probably been using for a while. Facebook, maybe Twitter, maybe you watch a lot of YouTube videos, maybe you play online fantasy sports, maybe you play online games. So as long as you've spent some time online in your life, in some sort of community or another, or you've gone online to learn about a particular hobby or learn how to do something new, or if you've spent some time communicating with strangers online, this course is probably going to interest you a lot. It's also a great course for those who are interested in how people learn, how people organize themselves. If you have a background in social science, anthropology, education, sociology, those kinds of things, this is a course that you'd probably be interested in. It's not a good course for folks who get easily offended by what they see online. If you spend a day looking at something like Reddit and it makes you cringe, then this is probably not the right course for you. I presume everyone in this class is an adult and over 18, and I'm going to presume that you have the ability to police your activities and make the class a safe learning environment for other people, but it's not a good place if the things that strangers do online is potentially offensive to you. I'll note that there are a few requirements for the course, but you don't really have to have a major computer that is going to be a total workhorse for you. A lot of the stuff that we're going to do in this class is easily accessible via a tablet or a smartphone. I'd like to do some experimental things with using Google Hangouts, which is something I'm very experienced with, where all of us get together at an agreed upon time to meet and chat. I'd like to do video conversations. I'd like to do as much as we can to keep things out of the realm of email and bulletin board posts. In other words, I want you to be spending your time reading the content for the class and not reading each other's discussions all the time. I don't think it's necessary to spend that much time reading, and I just want you to be able to concentrate on what you're studying and not necessarily have to spend all of your time worrying about what you're saying in writing a simple discussion post to the rest of the class. So you should expect that there'll be some experiments. Some things are going to go great, some things are not. There will be some failures, but we will definitely have fun along the way, and I'm encouraging you guys to bring your knowledge and expertise to the class. And I'm really hoping that it turns out to be a fun experiment for all of us. I am on the Tempe campus and available to meet with folks. If you're not on the Tempe campus, I'm very happy to do video chats and phone calls along the way. There's a million ways to reach me. My research is in social media, so you can pretty much find me anywhere, and you're free to friend me or not. And we'll talk a little bit about that as the course begins. If you'd rather have a more anonymous presence in this class, that's perfectly fine, and I will encourage you to do that so that your public identity isn't necessarily tied to everything you're learning in this space. Anyway, it's a pretty fun class. Basically, what I'm going to ask you to do is to embed yourself in a community throughout the semester. So it could be a million different things. It could be a fan community around something like Sherlock or Doctor Who. It could be a sports community. It could be that you want to learn a particular kind of digital photography. Students in the past have done all kinds of things. They've joined they've joined all kinds of stuff like origami groups, they've followed YouTube channels, they've learned to cook, they've learned to build bicycles, they've learned to fix their cars. So it's a lot of variety. The choice is up to you. It doesn't so much matter to me as long as it's a space where you can embed yourself for the duration of the semester and you're going to keep going to that space every single day to kind of see what's up. That's why fantasy sports is a great choice for this class. Although in the spring there's not much choice for that except for golf, but we'll get into that later. A gaming community is also a great choice. So there's lots of things you can do. The only thing is that you have to be able to reflect and be critical of the way people use language in that space. So as long as you feel like you can have that third-person perspective, or at least be objective enough to say, yeah, what they do in this space is pretty offensive, but here's why it's interesting from a language perspective, then that's good. And I'll teach you how to do that analysis. So that's about it, and I want to say thanks for enrolling if you do choose to enroll. And if you have any questions, you can find me on Twitter at Alice Daer, or Facebook, same thing, or just send me an email, adair@asu.edu. You can also text me 707-99-ALIST, A-L-I-S-T. Thanks a lot, and I hope to see you in the course in the spring.